my friends. We're very blessed this year to have All Saints Day fall on a Sunday. It's one of my favorite solemnities of the entire church year. Throughout the centuries, the church has declared certain people as saints. Because of the lives that they live, they are considered to be exemplary lives. People like St. Francis of Assisi or St. Ignatius of Loyola, just to name a couple. They serve as inspirations to us as we continue on our Christian journey. But today we celebrate all the men and women who enjoy friendship with God in heaven, but are known as saints to God alone. They too inspire us to holiness. We may or may not know their names, but they're saints nonetheless. And they help us on our Christian journey by praying for us. Which might lead us to wonder, in that great cloud of witness in heaven, is there a saint? Insert your name here. Have you ever wondered that? Is there a saint? Insert your name here in heaven. I know I have. Is there a Saint Sergio? Actually, there is. His Latin name is Sergius, and he was a high-ranking official or officer in the Roman army in the late 3rd century. Saint Sergius and another Roman officer, Saint Bacchus, had gained the attention and the admiration of the emperor. They were eventually discovered to be covert recent converts to Christianity when they refused to join the emperor in a pagan temple to worship the god Jupiter. As a result, they were both publicly humiliated, punished, and martyred. Their feast day is October 7th. My dad was given the name Sergio because he was born on October 7th, the feast of St. Sergius and St. Bacchus. And I, of course, was named after my dad. But if someone were to ask more pointedly, is there a St. Sergio Romo? I would have to say, no, not yet. How would you answer the question? Is there a saint? Insert your name here. Perhaps you're thinking to yourself, how could I ever compare to a saint? Or maybe think that saints lived only a long time ago and in places far away, like in Europe or the Holy Land. But did you know that saints are named all the time, even just recently, just a few weeks ago? And did you know that saints have lived everywhere on this earth, including Chicago? Yes, a saint used to live here in Chicago and walk the streets of our own city. This saint is memorialized in this beautiful chapel within our Church of St. Andrew, St. Frances Xavier Cabrini, or as she is often called, Mother Cabrini. She was born in Italy in the year 1850, and because she was born premature by about a couple of months, she was frail and she suffered various health complications in her life. At a very early age, she dreamed of becoming a missionary to China. So at the age of 20, she applied to be admitted into a religious community of sisters. But they rejected her application because they judged her to be too frail for the rigors and intensity of convent life. Undeterred, 10 years later, she started her own religious community, the Missionary Sisters of the Sacred Heart, which devoted its work to caring for orphans and educating children. In 1887, she pursued her lifelong dream by petitioning Pope Leo XIII to allow her and a group of her sisters to establish missions in China. But the Pope said to her, not to the east, but to the west. Pope Leo wanted her to go to the west, to the United States, to minister to the growing number of Italian immigrants there. As the population of Italians grew in the United States, They were definitely powerless since they were the most recent immigrants. Social services for them were virtually non-existent. Educational opportunities as well, non-existent, or access to medical care. So she and her sisters crossed the Atlantic Ocean and landed in New York, where she founded various schools, orphanages, and a hospital. All of it virtually with little or no support from the local bishop. Eventually, she moved to Chicago and likewise built many orphanages, schools, and hospitals, including the no longer existing St. Columba's Hospital in Lincoln Park. The hospital was closed many years ago, and the building was torn down for a high-rise development. Everything is gone except for the hospital chapel and the rooms where she lived and died. That chapel and her rooms are now part of the National Shrine of St. Francis Xavier Cabrini, the first U.S. citizen to be declared a saint by the Catholic Church. And you can visit the shrine and see where she lived, worked, and died. Every time I visit the shrine, I can't help but feel amazement at the thought that a saint lived there, that a saint walked the streets of Lincoln Park, downtown Chicago, and the near West Side, where she had built another hospital. She's one of my favorite saints because she was the first U.S. citizen to be named a saint, because she was a Chicagoan, and because she lived a life not unlike my own, or perhaps even yours. Just think about that. The next time that you find yourself walking the streets of Chicago, and as you contemplate the rejection that you have experienced in your life, or the obstacles that you've had to overcome, or perhaps the illness that you have had to deal with, or when people have questioned your abilities, or when you were faced with impossible and gargantuan tasks, or when your lifelong dreams are delayed or even extinguished. Your life, our lives, are not unlike the life of Mother Cabrini. What made her a saint, or makes her a saint, is that as a person of faith, she lived a life of friendship with God, turning to God every time she faced those obstacles, trusting in God's wisdom, providence, and care, knowing that she could not do it on her own. But with God's help and the help of her sisters of her community, was able to accomplish many great things. My friends, all of us are people of faith, and we, like Mother Cabrini, can cultivate a friendship with God and turn to God in our times of darkness, confusion, and trial, like the times that we are facing now with the seemingly insurmountable challenges of COVID-19, a faltering economy, and a divided nation. Our task, my friends, as Christian disciples, is to walk with God on this journey. And as we do, to do the missionary activity that Mother Cabrini did, to be an aid to those who have no help, to comfort the sick, to help those who are in trouble. We can do that, my friends, if we, like Mother Cabrini, cultivate that relationship with God and turn to Him in those moments when we need God's help. If Mother Cabrini was able to find friendship with God and accomplish so many things and be declared a saint, then so can we. And with confidence, we'll be able to answer the question, is there a saint? Insert your name here by saying, no, not yet.